Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to another episode of We Talk Sports. Gentlemen, we are just moments away from the NFL kicking off.
Thursday is so close!
So we got a lot of things. Obviously, Eagles, Cowboys, as we're recording this right now, kicks off tomorrow. But we got a lot of things to talk about other than just the NFL kicking off. The thing that we're going to be talking about a little bit more is about the Micah Parsons trade that literally just...
Camera 2, focus in on me real quick. Zoom in, nice close shot. Jerry Jones, on behalf of NSAE's fans everywhere, thank you, my brother. Keep doing the terrible job that you're doing. We love you.
Indeed.
Shout out Jerry Jones.
Absolutely. The Micah Parsons trade, absolutely just stunned by it happening. Rumors were going around at this point. From the Packers to anywhere else. The Packers seemed like the front runner for a while, but it seemed like Dallas was more trying to get a deal done, but obviously that did not happen. And yeah, now he's a Packer. I can't.
A Packer with vertebrae issues.
Supposedly, but Micah Parsons is going to make the Packers a whole lot better, and the amount that they got still doesn't feel like enough to replace Micah Parsons. Jerry Jones was literally talking about getting Pro Bowlers with those 2 first-round picks. Mind you, the Packers were a playoff team for the past 2 seasons. Unless something happens where they fall off, those picks are probably going to be in the 20s. So...
you can still get decent players with picks, but
they're still first-round picks.
It doesn't. I guess it's hard to get more than 2 unless you're trading for like a franchise quarterback. Yeah. They also got the defensive lineman from the Packers.
Was it Rashawn Gary or something?
No, it was not Rashawn Gary. It was a defensive tackle. I don't remember his name at the moment. But I was reading that
he's like 30-something.
Yeah, he's kind of pretty old. But I was reading that they actually had called the Panthers to ask about a Micah Parsons trade.
I don't think...
And they wanted Derek Brown in return.
Yeah.
And
Would you have made that trade?
No, our general manager hung up the phone.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Is that a WGM moment?
I think so.
I think so.
I don't think I would like to give up 2 first-round picks after we just traded a bunch of firsts, and then our next one became the number 1 overall pick. So miss me with that.
Yeah.
But I think Micah Parsons is a great get for the Packers. I think he's going to bring their defense to the next level if he stays healthy. He's really elevated them to potentially Super Bowl contenders in my eyes.
All right, let's pump the brakes on that a little bit.
Great team.
Jordan Love is inconsistent at best, but
He had a great season year
I think
before
last year...
Yeah, not last year.
Well, last year he was facing injuries. He got injured in the first game.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of things that we're going to see with the Packers with Jordan Love. And I think right now, the Packers have one of the best defenses a lot, especially with addition of Micah Parsons that figures out their linebacking core as well as a way better pass rush. And you get him in the midst of his prime. Yeah. That's the biggest thing that doesn't make sense for what the Cowboys did is this isn't like, we can find another Micah Parsons. This guy is in the middle of his prime and is arguably the best defensive player, probably outside of like Myles Garrett. And
are we talking all time or just in the league?
In the league right now.
Okay.
In the league right now.
I don't know. Frankie Louvu could give Micah Parsons a run for his money.
Jumping offside.
Whee!
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I just think this really shows how out of touch Jerry has gotten with the way he treats.
Thank
his
you,
players.
Jerry. Thank you, Jerry.
As you can see, he went around Micah's agent to try to negotiate a deal with him directly. And Mike was like, I don't know about that. So when they actually had the agent call, Jerry's like, but I already made a deal with this guy. I don't want to negotiate with you. But that's what you have to do in the modern NFL.
Yeah.
You can't just have a handshake agreement with a player and be like, all right, deal's done. You have to go through his representation if you want to make a good faith attempt. And the thing is, if they had extended him last year, they could have paid him like $35 million and be done with it.
Yeah.
Didn't Jerry Jones say something like, I could have paid him for like $46 million back in like January or something like that?
Yeah, he could have. Missed his chance.
Missed his chance.
Honestly, the best thing about this trade, if you're Nico Harrison, you gotta be kind of happy that the Luka Doncic trade.
I think that one was worse.
That one
far
was
worse.
Yeah.
That was bad, but now the pressure is off of him more.
Everybody's hating on Jerry Jones. Thank you, Jerry Jones. Thank you, Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Honestly,
it's just a tough time to be a Dallas sports fan.
It really is.
It is.
Dallas sports
next? The Rangers are going to trade away Seager to the Dodgers.
I think he's like he got hurt. He's like he had like an appendix thing.
I know, but yeah.
Yeah, but they'll fix that.
Yeah. But anyway, so we have obviously the Mike Parsons trades just happened. I guess we're going to move on to more collegiate sports. We had a lot of games, a lot of good games. Some of us are mixed about them just because of the results. But how are you feeling after, I guess, week 1 of
Which game should we start with?
anyone?
Unk debut.
Why don't we do the?
Unk debut.
Yeah.
Belichick?
Yeah.
We'll talk about.
Belichick belt to booty.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
He should have retired. He should have
really
just
should've.
enjoyed his 24-year-old girlfriend and retired.
She's
you know,
on the sidelines.
she's in the press box with Michael Jordan. Like,
I don't
come
know.
on, bro.
I don't know.
Alright.
I mean, Bill, I really thought after that first drive that they were going to do something. I thought, okay, he might
You
be
did?
Well, they scored right away, you know. At first,
They
you're
looked
like, all right,
really
all right.
good.
But then they just did not do anything.
Yeah, they just didn't
for
do
like
anything else.
hours.
Yeah.
And it was a really dull game by the end of it. That the commentary team had to resort to putting a headset on a dog. So
Yeah,
that
it
really
was-
tells
Did
you
they
a lot about
actually?
the quality of the
It
game.
was a boring game. That was
It
probably.
was
Kirk
just
Herbstreit's
Jerry
dog.
Jones BTA. It was rough. It was really rough.
With MJ in the house too. He's never gonna come back.
He's
for
never
football
coming to watch a
season.
college football game ever
Yeah.
again.
Absolutely. But now, I guess, moving away from TCU North Carolina, let's talk about some of the more noticeable games that we saw. We can talk about Clemson LSU.
Let's not.
Talk about
not?
Alabama FSU, and then
Yeah, let's talk about that one.
Ohio
Okay.
State and Texas. Let's start with Ohio State, Texas.
Okay.
and then we'll go down the list.
I don't think it is way too early to be calling fraud alert on Arch Manning. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. It
His
is week 1.
His mechanics looked rough.
His mechanics look
was
rough, but
missing the
he was
easy
at
throw.
OSU.
Yeah, but he's
I
been
will-
there for like 2 years before
but
this. He's had
this
a
is
lot
his
of time to develop.
But this is his first ever time, like, genuinely giving the keys to the car, and is like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things being tossed into Columbus off the rip. And
That's a hard environment to
I
play
know,
in.
but even in that last quarter, he made a nice pass.
Yeah.
And then right away, he threw 2 horrible, like, short passes that missed the receiver, which could have gotten a first down and a chance to win the game. He just didn't show me that clutch Manning
He was
gene in this
under
first game.
pressure.
I
You know,
just-
neither did neither did Peyton or Eli when they were starting their college careers.
All I'm saying is, some of the other quarterbacks like Nussmeier, he had a pretty good game.
Yeah, but he's
Gunnar Stockton. This was his first game besides that playoff. He came in, he threw great.
I think that's the thing, though. I think right now, like, those guys are going to be developed and had time under a system where they were basically going to go in. For Manning, there's just a ton of things that he needs to get on, and they weren't facing against Ohio State. Like, Nussmeier, he played against Clemson. That's a tough environment. Nussmeier has a year under his belt. Stockton played against Marshall.
Yeah, that's true.
So it is.
But, I just wonder, maybe if Arch spent less time doing these Warby Parker commercials and brand deals,
You're
he'd
hating
be
on
able to
the
complete
you're
a pass.
Let's
talking
just-
down on Arch after week 1. What happens if he balls out this week?
Then I'll be wrong.
Yeah.
Let,
Wanna put some money on it?
$5. All right, we'll update you on that result next episode.
Who's
Well-
he playing next week?
I don't know, like some probably D2 school.
Dang, I might have made a horrible
I don't
mistake.
know. But obviously that game was kind of frustrating because Texas defense played really well.
Yeah.
Ohio State's offense, very vanilla, very Ohio State wise. People were pumping up their wide receivers and everything, and
Well,
I wasn't impressed by anything Ohio State
I
had to
have
show.
to say, y'all are forgetting, that was Ohio State's quarterback's first game as well.
I know.
And he looked a bit better than
Well,
Arch.
I
would
think
say.
Not a lot, but a
He
bit.
made-
He scored twice.
But he also had some drops. He threw to that young receiver who's really great, and he dropped the ball right
Yeah.
away.
It is
I
week
think
1.
they do need time to develop.
I
I
think,
just say
yeah.
Arch had some red flags that I'm a little.
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
also we got to remember it's week
Yeah,
1.
it's
You know,
week one.
there's
He's
week
got
1
time.
jitters.
He's
You know,
got
we
time.
have a lot of time to develop these things, and starting out in a really high pressure game at Ohio State,
Yeah.
I think is just something that we're all just kind of hating on Arch. But like if we were in that position, I'm sure we would be performing
I think-
way worse. I think we cut Arch some slack. You know.
I think if that was like in Austin or in a neutral site, Arch would probably play better.
Thank you, Dom.
I definitely think that the environment was a lot, and while I had a lot of hype thinking that Arch was going to absolutely take care of business, I can understand. And yes, a lot of it is on his mechanics. He needs to improve on that. There's a lot of throws that he should have made. There's also sometimes where the receiver looks discombobulated, and I think that was just mainly the defense.
Yeah, the
Ohio State-
secondary is really good.
The Ohio State defense is really good, and that's the thing that I think we're kind of throwing because we're like, no, they can't be that good. I just think it needs more time. But let's
We'll
go
see.
talk about the other matchup that is very interesting. Bama FSU.
The tide got rolled, baby. The tide got rolled.
So,
The tide got rolled. The tide got rolled. The
So
tide ain't rolling no more.
there's a lot of things to talk about with Alabama, and I think the one thing is just to say that this is an interesting time to be.
Is it a fluke?
Nick Saban ain't walking through
It is.
that door.
It is. Nick Saban is not walking through that door. But we got to remember, gentlemen, it's week 1.
It is week 1.
Remember last year? They lost to Vanderbilt, bro.
Yeah, but Vandy's Vandy. They have a history of coming up with some
Vandy's
wacky
better.
upsets.
FSU is better than Vandy.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
It is
We'll
week.
see.
It is early, like I said, in the college season, so we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think right now, I wasn't really paying attention because I was checking out the Western game. We'll not talk about that, but
No, we're gonna talk about that.
we'll talk about that. But I was surprised because they did something that UNC did in their game. They opened it up, took a touchdown, and after that, it was 17-7. I was like, are they really going to lose this game against FSU? You know, like FSU, we might be underrating them a little bit, but even then, not really a whole lot of guys that I'm just like, no, I'm really shocked. And for Bama fan, gotta be very concerned of what the future holds for this team.
Tide's not rolling right
I mean,
now.
it's just a different program now.
It is.
Saban is like his own. Like once you remove him from the system, it's sink or swim.
The thing is,
and
with
if you don't have another peak coach, you're not gonna swim.
the thing is, I compare it to like say Heath Ledger's Joker.
Oh yeah.
Anything that comes before and after him is gonna look, not as good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think DeBoer, we kind of throw a lot at him. He is a decent coach.
For Washington.
Where he had that track record. I mean, he made a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
So even with Bama last year, they still won 9 games. So he didn't like.
9-4 for Bama though.
It's-
That's
it's-
not good.
Yeah.
It's not a part of their standards. But when you're going from Nick Saban top tier to DeBoer, it's gonna look like that. And we'll see if DeBoer underperforms. He's probably gonna be done.
Well, there's like a $75 million buyout they have
I
to
know.
pay to fire him this year. So we'll see. We'll see how the tide.
We'll see what
progresses.
happens.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's still early in the season, so losing this early doesn't mean you're completely out. It just means your odds are not looking too good.
We'll have to see.
Um,
Knowing the expanded playoff committee, they'll probably find a way to put Bama.
it depends. I mean,
anyways
last
for
year
the
we thought they were
ratings.
going to get tossed. Last year we thought they were going to put
Yeah.
10, but SMU, which turned out to be very not good.
Fraud check.
But let's go talk about Jacob's favorite game. Above him is the Clemson Tigers.
Actually, that's not the game I'm least excited to talk about.
but
we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. But Clemson, obviously, they looked like they were in drive. I think they were up like 10-3 before halftime, and then LSU happened, and they took care of business. And
Dabo, please stop saying we're going to go undefeated in preseason. Please. Because every time you open your mouth with that, we lose. Stop saying that. Just focus. Stop hyping up the media. Just focus on coaching Cade, and we'll be golden.
Maybe if Dabo would invest in some NIL money, they would have been able to.
Or even the
Dabo,
transfer.
Sweeney, we've done good without NIL money.
Yeah.
well, that was pre-NIL, so now you need to go full in, because especially the transfer portal, he's very anti that. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, like Clemson's still a good team. Like even them with LSU, they were still just down by a touchdown, and could have won this game or even tied it. I don't know. I just think that with Clemson, we overhype them a little bit too much because of their history with being always in the mix, especially with how weak the ACC is usually every year. I don't know. I feel like it was basically simply LSU's a better team. Even like the environment for Clemson, Nussmeier handled it to a T and took care of business. And Cade Klubnik, I mean,
I liked what I saw out of Cade.
I think Cade can
I think-
still recover.
I think he can recover. I liked the foundation of the foundation was there, and I think that just kind of like from what I got a chance to see, LSU was a good team. Their defense really came to play, and they made scoring very, very difficult. And I think that is very representative of how the season's going to go. I hope we see them again in the playoffs.
Absolutely, there should be some more opportunities. Obviously, with depending on how good FSU, especially. Actually, we're gonna move on to talk about I think Miami for just a little bit before we go off to Western. But yeah, speaking of the ACC, Miami.
Carson Beck.
Carson
He's
Beck.
driving his Lambo in, getting the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Beck's a good quarterback. He was a good quarterback for Georgia. He took us pretty deep in the playoffs several times. Well, he didn't really always have the best moments, I still have a fondness for him and what he did for us. So I was happy to see him come out and have a decent game. I will say Miami's coaching still worries me. Like
Yeah.
Cristobal in that second half, he gets so conservative.
Yeah.
Like it reminded me a little bit of the Western game, to be honest, the way how they built up a lead and then kind of almost choked it a little.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought that Miami still looked like a good team, and if they can clean up some of those errors, if they can get better, and Carson can improve his chemistry with his receivers, I think they could make them to the playoffs and be a real contender.
I think they could.
That was a statement win there by Miami too, especially against Notre Dame, a team that was in the national championship last year.
Definitely.
A lot of people, including us, had Notre Dame probably, except for Owen. Owen believed in Carson Beck. So.
Yeah, that's my guy.
But yeah, I thought that was an interesting win, especially with just how like the Irish looked kind of.
They looked rough.
Yeah, kind of like they showed up at the end, but
Almost pulled the clutch up.
nope, they didn't. But Carson Beck, I mean, came into the clutch when needed to. So, but yeah, I think that's going to do it for the Miami segment. Let's talk about the game that I think Jacob's going to have the most to say: Western Gardner-Webb.
Where was our QB spy? Where was our defense the second half? Where was Tehran? What happened? Kerwin Bell going on and blaming the team, talking about if we had had a bigger lead, we were up 35-7. What bigger lead do you need?
Yep, and especially since we had just put the foot on the gas pedal. I mean, that's all you need to do.
We had them by the jugulars.
First half was great. I was like, wow,
Great
we're
first
a real,
half.
real contender. Look at us.
We were so back. We didn't need Teron Dickens. What happened?
The thing is, the first quarterback played pretty well.
Yeah.
And then they took him out. And then the other quarterback, I think he turned it over twice. Pretty sure at least.
He did have a good dime ball.
He had that good deep pass, but I guess the issue is when you're missing your starting quarterback, and you clearly did not plan on that being the outcome to the start of the season, you're going to be limited in your offense.
As well as the defense just collapsing at the same time, just like giving up big plays.
Where was our QB spy? I think he was running whenever and wherever he wanted
to.
To.
Mobile quarterback. They even
Very
had,
mobile.
It's the son of Chad Pennington play for a little bit, although we did get a pick off that one and they benched him. So the other guy was a little more.
Yeah, just a lot of moments. I mean, obviously I was there for Straight Cats, and
Tune in this Saturday as we go watch Wake Forest.
But yeah, there's a quick plug. But I was disappointed by what the Catamounts were doing. I thought they kind of took their foot off the throat and just were like, we're good. 35 points.
No, we were not good.
Nope.
Not at all.
Then before you know it, it was 42-28. And, yeah, then it was 52-42. Yeah, pretty rough out there. I mean, I was like, oh my goodness. I can't believe on firework night.
On the first night game since 21.
Yep.
It was supposed to be a movie. It was supposed to be a great night for everybody in Western, and we choked.
But yeah. But we're going to go off to our final segment before concluding this episode. We're going to be talking about picks, our pick 6 with our guaranteed Western game.
Okay.
Today's just going to be all NFL. There's not really a ton of college games that I was really kind of thinking of, but we're going to start off. I know we have Thursday night, but I'm going to actually do Friday night football in Brazil.
Chiefs-Chargers.
Chiefs-Chargers. We'll start off with, I guess we'll start with myself, as usual. I'm going to take, do I bet against Patrick Mahomes, or do I take the if-man? I'm taking if-man this time. I'm going Chargers by a field goal.
By a field goal.
It's going to be close.
Okay.
I'm going to go Chiefs by some fourth quarter black magic.
I'm going to go Chiefs by 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
2 tutties?
I don't know.
You don't have any
Chargers,
faith in the Chargers? In Brazil?
I like Ladd McConkey. I like the Chargers offense, but I don't
Amari
know.
Hampton,
I don't know.
dude.
Hampton. But I think Najee Harris post-firework incident is going to get a little more
Yeah, but that
burn
means,
this
hey,
week,
if you're
assuming he can still see.
Hey,
out
if you're
of
a
both
fantasy
eyes.
owner of Amari Hampton, there you go.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs might just pull ahead. We'll see.
We'll
All right,
find
and
out.
we're going to go to our second game. Is actually me and Owen's game. Panthers visiting the Jaguars. It's going to be interesting. 2 teams that I think are similar in a couple of ways. Their defenses are.
They both feature a Buccaneer former offensive coordinator as head coach who was hired to fix a quarterback who people see as mid.
Yeah. Night and
I don't
day.
think Trevor Lawrence's mid.
People see him as mid.
Well, that's unfortunate for them.
It's going to
They're
be hard,
blind.
but I will say if history does repeat itself, I'm taking Carolina.
Well,
They have every time they've opened, I think they won, but they've made it to the Super Bowl that
we
year.
beat the Jags a lot.
Yes.
I'm taking Carolina.
Oh,
Oh.
what a nice guy. I thought you were going to for sure take the Jags.
No, I think that as a wide receiver one, Travis Hunter has some improvement to do based on what I saw in training camp, and I think he needs. I think
Even then, I
yeah.
don't think he's wide receiver one because I think was it Brian?
Brian
Oh, is it
Thomas.
is it
Brian
Thomas Jr.?
Yep.
Okay,
from
never
LSU.
mind.
I think he'll be.
But I think there might not be some cylinders firing on the offense of the Jaguars that need to be. I didn't love what I saw from training camp reports, but
Those are
And
just-
it
the
is
Bryce
his head
Young,
coach's
Tataroa,
first
McMillan
T-Mac looked
connection.
good.
T-Mac looked really good in training camp and in the preseason too. He had
preseason,
some
he
really
did.
good catches.
They got Hunter Renfro now.
And they got Renfro back.
We got Chuba Hubbard, who's going to run.
I think Chuba's going to
all
run
around.
for at least 200
Rico
yards.
Dowdle, former Cowboys running back.
That should
and
be a
AC Reynolds
good
alum.
complementary to
Yeah.
that. But
I think Bryce is going to take the win. I think he's going to make a statement. I think Canales is going to draw up some pretty sick plays.
Mhm.
I think we're going to have a pretty great opening. My only concern would be is the defense.
That defense.
And
I know.
If any,
that
but
defense
Derek
gets-
Brown is back.
Yeah,
so
he's
that's
back.
positive at least.
He's back.
Yeah.
It does give me nightmares a little bit. I
Mhm.
kind of sleep very closely to my blanket every time I think about that defense.
Like when
Every
Washington put
time.
up 40 with a backup QB.
That was
Yeah, that was
well,
pretty bad.
I mean, 32nd ranked defense. But moving on to our actually your game. We're Washington Giants.
Washington Giants at Landover.
Mhm.
Washington
Wow.
by
Shock.
21. By 21.
I believe so. I don't think it will be by 21. I
It'll
think
be
the
by 21.
Giants will make it a little closer. I am actually a little. Well,
I don't think
I don't think they'll be a playoff team, but I would be kind of.
they have Russ
I'm
starting.
not betting on the Giants.
I don't know. I like to see what they do with Jackson Dart, but I'm taking Washington. I'll say
Ru-
by.
Russ is
two-score.
starting.
I know he's starting, but I'm just saying.
Until half the year. when
Going through
everyone's
the
on
year, I would
hot
be
seat.
intrigued by the Giants. Malik Neighbors,
Yeah.
going to be interesting.
Give me Commanders. I think Jaden Daniels is going to beat old Russell Wilson. For
Yep,
sure.
nice. All right. Moving on to our other game, we're going to be talking about Packers and Lions. I'll get through. So it's going to be at, I think, believe Lambeau. So it's Micah Parsons' first game, supposedly. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to actually say the Packers win this one close.
I'm going to say it's going to be a close game. It determines on whether or not Micah Parsons is playing and if he is able to play at 100% to stop the run game. Because Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery,
good one.
Sonic and Knuckles, that's a nasty
Very
running
good.
duo.
Sonic Knuckles.
And I think that if Micah's not playing at 100% to stop the run game, Green Bay's going to have a rough time with that. I think we
he's
saw
getting,
that a
like,
lot
an
last season.
injection in his back.
Yeah, an epidural.
Yeah, I don't know. That might hamper him a little bit.
That,
to start the
yeah,
year.
I think that if Micah is not playing 100%, I think Sonic and Knuckles are going to do a nasty number. We saw this with Saquon versus in the playoffs against Green Bay last year. So, I think that I'm going to take Detroit by 7.
That's good. Yep, I think that could happen. But we'll see. Owen?
I think Jared Goff is going to come out and have a pretty good game under his new offensive coordinator. I think he's going to beat the Ben Johnson merchant allegations, hopefully. I think the Lions are going to come out with the win.
Okay. And we'll move on to our final game, which will be probably the game of the week. Sunday Night Football. Buffalo and Baltimore.
That is going to be a
That's a
really
good game.
rematch of the playoffs from
Yep,
last season.
Divisional playoffs. I'm going to take the Bills by 3.
Ooh, I'm
Close.
going to take Baltimore by 10.
I'm going to take the Ravens by 7. I think the Ravens are a good team, and they've added DeAndre Hopkins this season. He's
They
old.
did.
He's old, but that's a nice weapon for
That's a
Lamar
nice
to have
weapon.
to complement.
They still got
Got
Zay
Lamar starting in
Flowers.
my
Zay
fantasy.
Flowers, yeah.
Derrick
Yeah.
Henry. Can
Derrick
never-
Henry. Is,
Choo-choo train
he will
Henry.
he will be 50 years old, and he will still be running down the throats of opponents. I think the Ravens are a good team, and they're
Good
going to
team.
come out with the win.
My opinion is just that, Josh Allen, really good. They have, of course, James
Bills are
Cook.
good, too.
They have a decent defense. I think they improved a lot on the defensive side. It's going to be a close one. I could see the Ravens winning big, but I think the Bills can handle it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all our picks for today. Actually, one more
One more.
before we go off.
Uh-huh.
We got the Western game, Wake
Oh.
Forest. I know it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. I would love to pick the Cats, but I'm going to say Wake wins this one.
Cats by 3.
By 3.
I was going to say Cats by 90, but you stole the bit, so now I'm going to say Wake Forest. is
Cats
gonna
are
get
not
the
going to win by 90. If the Catamounts can lock in, take the lessons we learned from
Yeah,
last week,
Judy
maybe
can
run a
play
QB spy, actually. I think we might, we stick to the run game and our O-line holds up for Branson Adams and his running backs,
We can hope.
we can hope we might win by 3.
All right, there. That's gonna do it, I guess. Was it Wake Forest Cats? Wake Forest.
Yeah.
But that is gonna do it for today's episode of We Talk Sports. And as always, go Cats!
Go Cats, baby.